Hi, and welcome to Sun King Studio 92. Paul Mendenhall here from 92.3 WTTS with a guy that I've been meaning to talk to for about the entire 20-year span that I worked at TTS. And today I get the chance. I'm very excited. Dan Wilson from Semisonic. Hello, Dan.
Thank you very much. Hello, how are you?
I'm great. There's certainly a lot to talk about here in the course of this segment. And I guess the first thing that comes to mind is it's very exciting to have new Semisonic music. You do say Semisonic, not
Yeah,
Semisonic, right?
no, you got it. That's
Oh, yeah,
true.
I thought so. But new Semisonic music, You're Not Alone, an EP is just out. Why was this the time after, 17 years of not releasing new material? Why was this the time to get the band back together?
Uh, I mean, the main reason for why was that we had finally turned our attention back to the trio and recorded some couple of new songs in 2017 and several more in 18, and we finished the batch late last year. And I guess mainly why now is because it wasn't ready yet. Although I would have liked to do it 10 years ago instead of now, but I'm very happy that it's out, and I like the songs a lot.
Yeah. We're going to be hearing some of those songs along the way here from the new EP. You're
Right.
Not Alone. In fact, maybe we could dive right in and set one of these up. What's
Well,
the first, Dan?
well, let's listen to "You're Not Alone." It's the title song, and I didn't write it during the pandemic or in response to the Black Lives Matter protests and movement, but that was already around when I wrote it, and I partly wrote it in response to the Women's March, and mainly to a sense of like isolation that I felt like I was going through, but I thought a lot of other people were feeling like, am I crazy? Am I alone? What's happening? And I wanted to write a song to respond to that, and
Okay, You're Not Alone.
not alone.
One, two, three, four. Everybody knows that the world is wrong. The only thing to do is write it a song. That's one way to take a wrong and make it alright. So drink up your time, take a pill for the pain. Come out of the dark and in from the rain. I wanna see your face in the glow of the firelight. The water's warm, and no one ever told you life was long. And believed it, you've always known there's someone out there watching as you go. Just stop feeling you're not alone. Gaze in my eyes and tell me I'll be alright, even if I don't get what I need tonight. Sometimes the complexity gets a little complex, but other times it's easy as baking a pie, falling off a log or live until you die. What would even be the point if we knew what comes next? The water's warm, and no one ever told you life was long. And believed it, you've always known there's someone out there watching as you go. Just stop feeling you're not alone. You're not alone. Dance up, play to the beat, make a life was long and believed it. You've always known there's someone out there watching as you go. Just a feeling you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not
Well, you brought up, Dan, you brought up the fact that this does sort of tie in, and it's interesting. All of a sudden, you can hear music from a different perspective. You know, at this point, I've joked that either we have to play REM's Into the World a lot, or we have to just go away from it for a while. Music does, it takes on all kinds of different meanings.
Yeah.
And what's the scene like in Minneapolis right now?
Well, I live in Los Angeles now, but I am all of my family of origin is there, and so I'm very much in touch with it. Musically, we're all in the same boat. There's not that many opportunities to play live, and I think because George Floyd was killed in Minneapolis, and the Black Lives Matter movement and uprising sort of took that as a one of many focal points, I guess you'd say. My hometown friends and family are very, very aware of all this, and you know, on edge, I guess, wanting the world to be a better place and trying to do what they can.
Are Jacob and John back in Minneapolis?
John is in the Twin Cities, and Jacob has lived in New York for a long time. He's a drummer by night, but by day he's a professor of creative nonfiction writing at Sarah Lawrence
It's amazing how many intelligent people are in the music business. You know, it's always surprising. I don't know why it's surprising, but it just doesn't fit the stereotype or something.
When Jacob was writing his book, which is called "So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star," I told him that a lot of people would just give him credit for being a drummer who could, you know, type, and he didn't think that was funny at all. And I might have belabored the joke, but I think people don't realize just how bright a lot of musicians are, and Jake's a superb writer. His students are lucky.
I've read the book, and I want to ask you something about that. But first, maybe we could have one of the other songs.
Sure. Another song on the EP, and our second release from it is "All It Would Take," and I wrote that after I saw a movie about the girls' education and women's rights activist Malala, and I found it so inspiring, and I felt like very encouraged at the thought that maybe just all it would take to engage somebody, to get them fired up, to make them want to make a difference, is just being exposed to some brilliant and alive and intense and inspiring person. So I wrote "All It Would Take" about that.
All right, let's give it a listen.
1, 2, 3, 4. There was a time when I believed that all it would take is one look, one heart to change me. There was a time when I could see a straightaway line for someone somehow to wake me. But innocence is paid in flames, and dreams of change waste on the vine when all it would take is one voice, one light, one hand, writing the words of one choice, one fire. was a time when I could fly. I'd open my mind and nothing was above me. I felt I could climb the mountains high. But then when I reached the summit, was it just me? The darkest night in disbelief and hope would fade or start to ignite when all it would take is one voice, one light, one hand, writing the words of one choice, one fire, one hand, changing the world within me and around me, changing the world within me. Who would have known that's all it would take within me and around me, changing the world within me. There was a time when I believed that all it would take is one look, one heart to change me.
Okay, it's just a second ago we were talking about, well, first of all, let me reset the segment. Paul Mendenhall here with Dan Wilson, Trip Shakespeare, way back, Semisonic, probably a lot of other things that I don't know about, and some that I do that we're going to get to here in just a second. But I'm going to go back to Semisonic. Closing Time, what an enduring song and an endearing song as well.
Oh,
Well, it's just like the perfect song. It must have set the bar kind of high. I mean, for future writing, I mean, that's got to be something that's hard to equal.
it's interesting because when we recorded it, John and Jake and I knew it was good, and we knew we were going to be playing it at the end of our shows, as our closing time, and we got pretty immediate good reaction when we played it live. But no, I think Jacob thought it was a hit. I thought it was a great song to end the shows with. I don't know what John thought, but he was probably around where I was in his opinion of Closing Time. Jake was the only one who knew it was a hit, and none of us would have guessed that it was still going to get played on the radio and on in movies and in bars 20 years later. That would have been like, we would have laughed if someone told us that.
Quite a masterpiece of writing and such an interesting weave in and out of a couple of themes. I want to go to something in the book. I want to ask you your version of this, because as I recall, and it's been a few years, I didn't just read the book like yesterday. It's been a few years since I've read the book.
Yeah.
But there was the story in there about nearing the end of the time of Semisonic, the first incarnation. Well, this is the same incarnation, but the first segment.
Right.
You had lost a record contract, or you were in competition, I believe, with New Radicals, which was not really even a band. And somehow somebody's adolescent child thought they liked New Radicals more or something. What's your version of this?
Oh, I only know this secondhand. I remember just getting the bad news that one of the executives at our label, MCA, had played our song, a couple of our songs, and also some songs by Blink-182, perhaps, for his pre-teenage daughter or something like this, and she voted for Blink-182 and against.
Oh, it was the Blink-182.
And I think Jacob's book. Jake is probably right. I remember it differently, but Jake is probably right about New Radicals. I guess the idea that the execs were old enough that they didn't trust their own judgment in the music, and they needed to have their preteen and teenage children do the selection for them.
That's just great. Hey, and you have had your hand in some other projects too, and I'd like to talk to you briefly about those. But first of all, maybe we could go to something else musically.
Well, the next song I think we're going to do is Singing in My Sleep. which is a song from Feeling Strangely Fine that I've always loved. It's about sending somebody a cassette mixtape of favorite songs.
Okay, so back to Feeling Strangely Fine here.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, let me talk about you a little bit, Dan, because even though Semisonic's been on the sidelines here for 17 years or whatever it's been, you have been very busy. In fact, you had a couple of pretty significant projects that you worked on, including, well, I guess the most famous one to me, and I've had it in my head ever since I was researching earlier this morning, but Someone Like You. You were co-writer of that song with Adele.
Yeah.
And you also some work with Taylor Swift and the band now known as Chicks.
Yeah, Chicks.
What was that like, for example, with any of these artists? I mean, did you sit down beside Adele or Taylor Swift or even the Dixie Chicks and do any writing, or was it just like, hey, I'm sending you this? How did this work out?
Oh, all of those collaborations were truly hands-on, in the same room collaborations, very much kind of partnerships. And in each case, somebody would come to the room with an idea, something, sketchy, just a beginning, a title or a couple of lines of melody or something like that, and maybe a topic, and we would just write together for the day or maybe 2 days. Adele and I took 2 days to write Someone Like You. It was pretty good by the end of the first day. And similar with other people that I work with.
Oh, that's great. That's very organic. That's the kind of story you want to hear. Too many times you hear stories that aren't like that at all. But, I noticed too your backdrop here. Are you in a studio or a home studio right now?
I'm in my music space. Yeah, it's mostly about the piano. There's a drum set, and it's not a studio, but it's got a couple microphones here and there to record the ideas that have them.
Well, Dan, I sure appreciate you talking to us here today in Sun King Studio 92. We wish you the best and really love having new Semisonic music to play on TTS. Thank you so much.
So glad that you're playing it and that you dig it, and it feels great.
Great.